Okay, we're back. We've made some progress. We've managed to get the old engine out. It got right over here. This is the old engine, and the new engine is back in. But now I've got to connect all the wires and all of that, so I've got a fair amount of work to do inside the actual engine bay, such as the gearbox still isn't tied down completely. The engine brackets aren't tied down, and then I've got to do all the wiring. Luckily I labeled. So like I mentioned in the previous video, they managed to just cut the wiring loom off the main one. So I'm going to have to basically take all this wiring off and then take the wiring off from the original engine and pop it back on. There are some parts as well I want to change out, such as this part, and then actually the cover on the front, because I realized here that there is a hole in this and a slight crack at the top here, as if something kind of bumped on the front. So I just want to take this off and make sure everything's fine inside, and then kind of temporarily swap it with this one before it gets refurbed, the cover, just to make sure it's in the best condition possible. So let's get the car up in the air and go from there. Right, so what I want to start with is, in here I want to tighten up the bracket. You can see it's still loose, so that needs a bolt, and then we'll start at the back of the housing and first tighten all the 8 bolts and the 3 here, so the 3 starter motors and all 8 bolts by hand. Once we got them in by hand, we can get in under the car, probably from this side, to torque them all down and make sure the engine is fully secured in that. So I've got the original nut and washer, which I can put on. And that way at least we'll know that the engine is fully secure in the actual engine brackets. I need to take this off actually. Right, so I got most of the gearbox bolts in. Now I'm just slowly taking off all these clips and kind of plugging the original harness back. So here you can see it's been completely cut off on this section. So I'm just going each clip, swapping them out and plugging them back in and following the same path. So the sensor's broken. I need to get it from this one, but you can see just how corroded these are. So I've soaked them in WD-40, and I'm just going to use these pliers to break these free. This one's still struggling a bit, as you can see. It does not quite want to let go yet. I've got to be careful so I don't damage this sensor, so I can pop it on the other one. But that's going on next. I was just about to connect the sensor and these hoses when I realized that this is actually bent in and knocked in, so I can't get this hose on. So I'm actually going to pull this part off and take it from the engine. I've already cracked it loose here. So I'm just going to take this off, clean this off a little bit, and then pop it onto the other engine. Parts on, hoses on, and finally connector goes on. So sensor on, new parts on. Well, brand new second-hand part from the old engine. Just want to make sure everything's nice and tight. It's going to be the ignition on the back, and then everything is connected electrically to the engine. all the hoses. Just need these that go to the radiator and all the connected intake, but everything else is connected. So let's get that on. Alright, so I got this one fuel cable on, hose on, but I can't get the other hose on. It's just too short. So what I'm gonna have to do is take out all of these again, and then undo the fuel rail and pop the fuel rail out. That way I can access the actual pipes at the bottom. And I'll take the pipes from that one and pop it onto this one real quick. Fuel hoses are on. Injectors are back in. I had to slide the injectors out, disconnect this connector again, and completely loosen it. That way I could lift the injector rail out completely. Big thing to remember is if you're doing it, there are these little spacers between the injector, fuel rail, and the actual housing. If you lose them, they will fall down through the engine and you won't be able to put it back in. And then you just want to make sure that all your injectors are aligned in properly with their holes before you actually tighten it down. New sensors are on, all connected. Next, we're going to put in the radiator and then finally connect intake, piping. And then I think we're good to go for a first initial start and see if we're running or not. Okay, let's try this. And nothing.